Today, I'm going to go over one example of how to use the text to help you answer questions that are about the text. So I'm looking at the question set that you're going to be working on after you finish this Nearpod, and I wanted to model for you what a high quality answer looks like and how you go about thinking to get your high quality answer. Our first question, number one, is why don't Cal and his family see many people where they live? Use details from the text to support your answer. Okay, so that's our question. Why don't Cal and his family see many people where they live? Well, we've read the book a few times already, so let's check out our packet of excerpts here on this Google Slides document. So I'm looking at the pictures because the pictures are quite large in this book and they draw the eye. And I'm looking at the picture of Cal's house really high up on a mountain. All right, so that draws my attention right away. And what am I thinking about when I see this? Well, I'm thinking right away that they live far away from other people because you can see the picture, the illustration shows that. And then I'm going to read the text that goes along with that illustration. My folks and me, we live way up, as high as up can get. So high we hardly sight a soul, except hawks, a wingin' in the sky, and critters hid among the trees. So right there, Cal tells us with his own words that they live really high up on a mountain. And then he says, so high we hardly sight a soul. So that means that they really don't see people. So there's between the illustration and the text, we already have two details to put in our answer to this question. All right, and if you go, I have answered the question and I've made notes here so that you can see them as the example. So again, the question is, why don't Cal and his family see many people where they live? Cal and his family don't see many people where they live because they live high on a mountain with no one else around them. No stores, cars, or even roads. You can see a picture of their house on the first page of the book. Also, Cal says that they live, quote, as high up as high can get, so high we hardly sight a soul, which means they live very high on a mountain where probably nobody else lives. All right, so a couple things I want to break down to you about my model answer. Number one, I started my answer repeating the words from the question. So the question was, why don't Cal and his family see many people where they live? Cal and his family don't see many people where they live because, then I give my two answers. The first one, I talk about the illustration, and I describe how the author and the illustrator show that the house is really lonely, set on a mountaintop. And then Cal's own words, which I write, he says, quote, as high up as high can get, so high we hardly sight a soul. So I didn't just write that quote and left it, but I also explained the quote. And I said, it means they live very high on a mountain where probably nobody else lives. So that's a high quality answer with two details. I give one detail from the illustration, I gave a quote from the book, and I explained how that quote supports my answer, which is saying that Cal and his family don't see many people where they live. It's your turn next.